This is today's live on Equa Television International. We're happy. We're glad that you could join us on today's edition of the program. We're talking about corruption, eroding corruption in not just our public sector, but even private sectors. And this does not just start with public officials or leaders, but it begins with you. It's beyond embezzlement. It's also about you sticking to what is right. And on this set, I'm joined by Engineer Tony G. Nekali, Prudence and Samuel Solomon. Good morning.
Good morning, Joyce.
My name is Joyce Jakada.
Who asked?
I remember one of my lecturers back then told me that who is interested in your stupid name. I say, So I wrote a letter and I wrote my name. I didn't write the math number. I say, my friend, go and write your number. Who is interested in your stupid name? I say, Joyce.
The matric number is more important. From the matric number, they know everything about you.
Like your math number can lead them to the name.
Yeah.
But the name cannot lead to the number. My name is Joyce Jakada. That was the southern part of that lecture, but he repented though. So, Engineer Tony, are you okay?
If you want South, you see South on this show.
Are you okay?
I'm very okay.
Okay.
I'm very okay. Have you ever seen me not okay?
You look calm and...
I'm not calm naturally.
No. You're from the southern side, so they are
That's all
tending...
because
that's
I'm from
not the vibe, right?
It shows from
so
the
because
face.
I'm from south of them, I should be talking anywhere. No. Bring issues. Let's deal with them, you see.
Let's talk about corruption. All right.
Who is not corrupt in Nigeria?
Please raise your hands up.
Unfortunately,
I saw someone behind the camera. I did like this. Okay, but before the end of the show, the person will be like, "Oh, I've been corrupt. I'll adjust my
He's
way."
the most corrupt person on the set. He shows whoever he wants to show.
Do you understand? And when our shot is doing like this, is corruption.
When Joyce is speaking well, that person does not show Joyce. He will show all of us.
You see?
You see? So that's the height of in-studio corruption.
It's just common for people when you talk about corruption. Everybody start thinking of politicians. People start thinking of leaders. People start thinking of embezzlements. People think of nepotism and all of that. But far beyond all of this, in quote, corruption, like you see it littered, like virtually everywhere. And when you ask the question, who is not corrupt, I was looking at the set with one side of my hand, nobody raised his hand. Because if you are supposed to be at work at 8 a.m. and you come 1 minute past 8 or 5 minutes, you are corrupt, literally.
No, you are corrupt.
Yes, the person is actually corrupt.
You are corrupt.
So, if whatever you're supposed to do and you don't do it, or you take advantage of like privileges for your own personal gain.
Joyce, you would have just left this topic the way it was. Now you have opened it up.
Now nobody have anything to say.
We'll spend 3 weeks dealing with this
particular
topic. You would have just left it the way it was.
It's the eroding
But now
corruption.
that you have opened it up, let's see how far we can go on. There's corruption everywhere. That was why I asked earlier, who is not corrupt? Everybody is corrupt. Everybody is corrupt. Some people will say, it's God forbid I'm not corrupt, by saying that you are corrupt because you are lying about what you are doing. It's corruption as well. You see, somebody steals goat. He's fine in the court, maybe 7,000 naira. If that person has 7,000, believe me, he won't steal that goat. I'm not saying it's good that he stole the goat, but somebody stole a goat and he's either to pay 7,000 naira as a fine, excuse me, or spend, I think, 14 years in prison. But somebody stole 500 billion. There was a man in this country, he stole 350 billion from Ports Authority, and they gave him 18 months in prison. And you know that 18 months prison, 24 hours is 2 days. So 18 months is just like 9 months. And Story had it then that in his jail cell, he had DSTV, he had a TV set, it was furnished, and they were bringing food for him from home every now and then. I think when people do that to a nation that is striving to stand on its feet or survive or even succeed in the areas of economy, in the areas of infrastructure and all that, people like that should be locked for the rest of their lives. Collect this money and dedicate it to a project. I see there is a road from Abuja to Kaduna. The federal government put a very huge sign, say that this project was done with money recovered from looted funds and all of that. If we have projects like that in Nigeria, we'll be happy. We encourage people to steal, because we know that after they steal, they'll come and collect the money and
people
do
steal
project
and
for us.
disappear.
No, where would you go to? Joyce, do you know what a Swiss account is? A Swiss account is the kind of account you open. It doesn't have next of kin. It doesn't have a second. When you die, the company, the resident country where the bank is, the money becomes theirs. That's why old politicians used to steal and take money. To now they invest in properties, they buy properties abroad and all of that. But you see, when you collect that money and build roads, do infrastructure for the common man, I think it works. If we want to end political corruption or corruption at the level of politics up there, we know what to do. We just don't want to do it, because the person that wants to do it is corrupt, and he will look for ways to steal money from doing it. That is just it. When you say let's fight corruption, somebody is happy that they are the ones to be used to fight the corruption. So they have a very serious and a bigger opportunity to be more corrupt.
Honestly.
I know a woman, she's late now. She was taken to AFCC, economic crime, financial, blah, blah, blah. Whatever EFCC means. She was taken
I wanted to ask a question, but go ahead, please. Sorry.
Okay, ask the question.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
You wanted to ask me the full meaning of EFCC?
No.
Okay. Believe me, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with them, so I don't even know. I know it's economic crime, financial.
No, Economic Financial Crimes Commission. So you should give Plateau people some accolades now.
Ask me what ECWA means. I will tell you, evangelical churches. You know what, you don't have business with. What's your business? Knowing what the acronym is. I don't know.
Somebody said he wanted, like, they showed EFCC office and he said, I almost entered. I thought it's KFC. That thank God I didn't enter.
You would have entered that, you will see KFC. So you see, what I'm saying is, this woman was from Plateau, you know, and then they had EFCC. Somebody told them, she's late now. Somebody told her, I said, all of you should go and bring 10 million. This case will die. They said, are you serious? Say, yes. They went back, took the 10 million, all of them, and the case died, sir. When she thought that case was going to give her blood pressure, heart attack, and die, it was COVID that finally killed her. And the husband died a few months after her. What are we saying? If we are looking at corruption, who is not? Corruption has, it's not really money. People think if you are money, you are corrupt. There are some things you do at work. It's corruption. It's corruption. Do you know, since when I was growing, I was hearing bribery and corruption. We had that on the news. We have that bribery and corruption. Nigeria has been fighting. We had jingles running on network news every now and then against bribery and corruption. But I think that is more of a spiritual thing than it is physical. Because
I was going to ask her,
it
because
is
we're talking
embedded,
about
because
eroding.
if it was physical, Joyce would have dealt with it.
But we see people collecting money, and even with the signpost, don't give bribe.
Let me ask you something, Joyce. You said something about coming to work a minute after 8. Why do you think somebody is already at the office 7:30 religiously, but somebody is always coming 8:10, 8:15, 8:20? Why do you think so? It has to do with their thoughts. Can you see a thought? No. That means it's spiritual. So it's true. Anything that, whatever wells up from within you and comes out and gives rise to your action, you say that thing is spiritual. You can't see it.
Okay, beyond the physical, I would like you to speak, Sample Solomon, on some of the manifestation of corruption, because people just think when you say corruption, it must be money. So beyond bribery, like, what are the other forms of corruption that manifest in private and even public organizations?
Well, okay, earlier when he talked about the issue of spiritual, I agree with that, because I so much believe that's the reason why Christ came.
Corruption.
To
No.
erode corruption. Since it's spiritual.
I was willing to hear a different gospel this morning.
He came because his fight is to correct all those things that are spiritually inclined. Because you talked about thought. They said the way you think it, that's how you are. And then the way the wall is, you are in a wall. That is the reason why the Bible is talking about you are in the wall, but you are not of the wall. And then don't behave like the way the wall is behaving. That's the reason why I talked about Jesus Christ. So how can we behave differently? Is by following the pattern of Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ came to reset our spiritual balance, to make us know that these things that is happening, just know that you are from a different world, and this is how you are to behave. This is how you are to think. That's why he said, remember, bad company corrupt good morals. And he came to teach us good morals, to tell us this is how the original plan of God is. This is how we should live. If you are doing this, this is what God hates. So if you are not doing things right, you are corrupt.
So
If you are not doing things right the way of Christ, you are corrupt.
Okay, so if there's an instruction, if you work in an organization and there's an instruction and you go against it, you are corrupt.
You are corrupt.
When you lie, you are corrupt.
In fact,
Prudence has more to
the
say.
fact that your state said do not litter the environment, do not throw refuse in the environment, and you, like we do in Nigeria, just throw it in through the window.
You eat
You are
granite
corrupt.
and you just throw. You are corrupt.
Yeah, corrupt.
okay. What in the case
It's just-
that the leadership of ECWA said they are not part of the protest and ECWA members are protesting, they are. Why is everybody deaf and dumb suddenly?
I'm waiting for the
For the chorus.
Yula cannot wait for this work to close today. Let you go and protest.
well, I think
Corruption.
Yula, you are permitted. You can go now.
You are
You can go
corrupt.
now.
I think for the leaders of ECWA, they have made it clear. For them as leaders, they felt, yes, they have the members at heart. They know the series of protests in this country. You know,
The SA to the PRO.
how it went, how some of them went, the other way,
Joyce,
not
why are
the
you
way-
laughing after?
not the way it was planned. You understand? So
Thank you,
they are
SA.
just concerned
Yes.
about the men's. But I think for what is happening in this country, to be honest and to be sincere, even the leaders, they know, because check the offering, they will know that something is going wrong.
And that's why they said
You-
they are in talks with the government.
That's the reason why I'm saying them as a leaders, they are saying, okay, pray for the government, right? Pray for our leaders. It is what is expected of us because it is enshrined in the Bible. You should pray
For those in authority.
For those in authority. But that doesn't stop you from what the Constitution say is right, is legit for you to air your grievances. You understand? Some of them, they are not going as, possibly maybe not going as members of ECWA, but they are going as citizens of Nigeria. And that's a different thing entirely. That's a different thing entirely.
They have
So-
two face.
so-
On
so-
Sunday they are members. On Thursday
You know,
they go as
you know,
citizens.
You are a Nigerian before you are an ECWA member.
Let's look at
You understand?
that can be a topic one another day. But Joyce, I want us to really look at this protest that is going on. Because
Actually, it's good because corruption leads to all of this. When you don't do the
Yes,
right
yes.
thing, people will want to protest or
Of
come
course.
out to show their
of
grievances.
course, you know, the loudest slogan about this protest is end
Bad governance.
Governance.
Can we lay a preamble what bad governance is?
Well, I would just say, simply put, when you talk about governance, it's about leading the
Leadership.
people, is about leadership, is about it's about the people. So good governance is governance or leadership or rulership that looks into the need and the welfare of the people. It becomes bad when the people are removed and replaced with personal or selfish interests, or when you don't consider the welfare of the people. That's when it becomes bad. But governance generally, I think it should be about the people.
Okay. Give me one example of good governance from a particular regime in Nigeria.
Yeah, we've had a semblance of good governance during there are policies that were introduced.
Joyce, you're explaining what I didn't ask you.
No, now
Just tell me, during this person, we saw good governance. During this person, this is to all of us.
there are policies that have been introduced. I won't say 100%, but during let's say from late Yaradua's regime, we've had some semblance of good governance. Things where prices of commodities were affordable. Things where like people can afford their basic needs. And then during Goodluck Jonathan as well, I'm talking about the recent ones that people can easily
Feel
relate
free to
with.
take us to 1940.
And then like we've had that during Muhammadu Buhari. He came with the whole anti-corruption fight and a lot of things fighting of corruption, but I mean it was more like we went backward because a lot of things like turned upside down. Things became hard and all of that. During now Tinubu's administration, he came with a lot of policies get towards like the people, good governance and all of that. But it's more like policies that I'm not eroding the fact that or saying that they are bad policies, but they are policies with long-time solution. And the situations that Nigerians are faced with, like what they need is short-time solutions. I mean, it's a year gone. Some people, I hear people saying that it's just 1 year in office. Just this 1 year, a lot of people have died of hunger, insecurity. Like some people have been killed and all of that. So 1 year is not just 1 year, because within that 1 year, a lot of things happened. So yesterday I was in the market and someone was saying, the vendor, that like I used to have customers that come and buy like effortlessly, package this for me 100k 200k and all, but that he cannot remember the last time. These people can barely afford to buy 50k goods and all of that. So this was somebody talking about, oh, he needs to come out and protest, while the other person, they were having conversation with somebody, and then person, do you have to go? And he was explaining his own reasons why. So I just feel that for this administration, the policies are okay, but they have long time like solutions. But in the meantime, like now, what Nigerians need is short time solutions. So in all of the regimes that we've had, there are policies that are for the people, and there are some have made policies that are against the people. Some were reluctant, some were even like cut away from what the real situations that the people are faced with. But then we are here and Nigerians are saying end bad governance. Some of these policies are anti-people. They have not seen results. In fact, let me just make reference to the removal of fuel subsidy. When this administration came in, like the first thing that we saw was removal of subsidy. And the reason, simply put, was because some people were benefiting at the detriment of majority. Like it was more like a fraud. Okay, we are paying subsidy, and at the detriment of other sectors. So we need to remove this so that this money can be channeled towards education, towards health, transportation and other sectors. But with the removal, we saw hike in all of those sectors. Electricity tariff, education like has gone over 200% like fee. So people are asking questions. So what was the essence of the removal? And I think that's why some people are carrying placards that say return it. Like because we are not seeing the benefit.
Okay, so a lot of times when we tag something as bad governance, it's because we have not seen our interests being in play from the government. So we find that for the past let me go with 8-10 years, we've not seen something tangible that works with the people or for the people. It's like every government policy that comes up tends to tilt against the people. They might seemingly look good on the books, but implementation has been poor, and over time the masses are really suffering. You go to the market today, and tomorrow you're going back to the market, and the hike is like 30% hike within a day, and you're like, what exactly is going on? Because you can't even explain. The government is saying they're doing one thing up there, and down here we are seeing something entirely different. So people are burdened by things like that. You find a lot of cases of protests going on in African continents because of these things, because people are tired of going, of suffering, and it seemingly looks like the government is not even listening to our cries. So that's when people begin to shout, okay, there's bad governance and there's bad governance and that, all that. But for Nigerians, it's like, it's hard to even say that we've had good governance, because everybody has been crying bad governance. In fact, I think the cry of bad governance since they gave birth to me up to today, I've been hearing the same cry. Everybody keeps crying bad governance, bad governance. The NSAS protest started off as against an arm of the government, but a part of the one sector of the government, but over time it turned to bad governance too as well. So this was people voicing out their pain, how hurt they feel, and how things are really not working in their interest. And we find that a lot of playing a whole lot within this period. That's why the young people are saying, okay, so let's take back our future and let's go out and see whether we can find a government that is better at that. So when we talk about bad governance, it's really biting hard. And as we say, it is always a result of corruption. But where we always get it wrong is that not just the governance up there. When we're talking about corruption, is that almost every single one of us has a hand in it. For one,
who elected those leaders that you call
that was
corrupt?
what I was going to
Who
say.
elect
I was
those
actually
leaders
just heading that way. You talk about the electoral process, and you cannot see us actually going and letting go of stereotypes and all that to actually vote for candidates that are legitimate and tangible. Because you have self-interest. Okay, who is paying me the most? You have ethnicity, tribalism, playing a whole lot in the Nigerian politics. It's massive. In fact, even religion plays a very large extent. So when you go with sentiments like that, you're playing sentimental politics. You would not look at candidates objectively and find the right candidates to go out and vote for. So everybody is just being sentimental. And because we have played politics sentimental, ethnic wise and religion wise, it has moved also to our governing bodies, and our governing bodies are just there. You put people that would fill in your pockets, but immediately they are out of the government. You're struggling and trying to find your own bearing because the next person that is in government is not sorting you out. So, and then you are shouting and saying, oh, bad governance, but then at the end of the day you put that government in place. So there are just a lot of things.
Is there anybody that is supporting this I almost said crisis supporting this protest that was never a part of a government?
No.
Did we have it well when they were in office?
No.
You see, I want us to be highly objective when we look at this issue of protest. Everybody just thinks protest is a solution. Protest has never been a solution. Protest is just to say your mind.
No, but in Nigeria, we've seen instances that it brought about social change. For example, the NSAS.
If NSAS helped, why are we protesting again?
No,
Like,
I mean
that's
it brought about
barely
social
4
change.
years
I mean
later.
it ended the brutality that young
Yeah,
people,
one
Nigerians, were
aspect.
experiencing. Like we saw an end to that. So even if it has not yielded
So, Joyce, you
100%
think-
results,
See,
but
a
we've
reduction.
seen reduction and social change.
in your idea,
Mm.
there's no, we don't have SARS. In your idea,
No, I'm not saying
there
that
has
we
been
don't
police
have.
reform. In your
No.
idea, everything has changed in the security system, especially as it has to do with police.
No, the protest was against police brutality. Like you can just be on dreads and they will just
How
take you.
many-
You can
how
just
many-
be using a
They
particular
do
phone
that
and
till
They still
tomorrow.
use
yes, but there is a reduction
There
in
is
that.
there's no
The
reduction. Joyce.
brutality.
No, let me just tell you,
Mm.
it's just not. They don't allow it to come out
Mm.
to be as before. They used to do it even when they record. They say, "I will kill you and nothing will happen."
Mm.
How did we get to find out? Because it was documented and it was shared.
We've seen people that were killed, like people we know
There
that
are
were
there
killed.
are systematic ways
Mm.
of dealing. Oh, this is what she wants. This is what they want. Okay, let me do it for them. They can do it systematically, yet continue to be who you try to stop them. You understand?
Stop them
From being.
Mm.
Now, this protest that we are doing, I'm not against it. But if we are crying, there is hunger, there is this, there is that. Imagine people locking their shops for 10 days. It is very easy, Joyce, for you to be in a crowd and be talking the same thing that the crowd is talking. When you are alone, what are you saying? I've seen hopeless people join the protest. Hopeless people making posts. They are coming out to do this. People that cannot, even when you call them that there is a job somewhere, they will not go and do it.
You know, they say there's no gain without pain. So people are sacrificing.
Do you understand?
to get
I want to make a point very, very clear. I want to make a point very, very clear to all the people that are protesting. We appreciate their effort for ending bad governance in Nigeria. We hope, I'm not saying everybody is good, but we hope that we make headway from this protest without blood, sweat, and tears.
True,
like I
true,
said yesterday, there will be sweat, there will be tears, but there shouldn't be blood. During the EndSARS, Joyce, till today, we have the lives of innocent Nigerians that have gone. I know somebody that was shot with his sister. They were shot. They were not even part of the EndSARS, but they were stray bullet. Him and the sister. How do I know him? He was going out with a girl that I know, and they were planning to get married. So now, that lady is still traumatized. She doesn't want to hear anything in relationship. Till now, from EndSARS. They stole from a lot of people.
Yeah.
They destroyed government properties. They did a lot of things. But the question here is, this is my point now. The people that are protesting, don't they have states? If they are Nigerians, don't they have states? In these states, let's assume they have states. Don't they have governors? Don't their governors receive subvention? Don't their governors receive money from federal government? Don't their governors receive money for palliative? Don't their governors receive food and everything? Like they said that there are 20 trucks of rice to every state. And the minister said categorically, everybody heard, that they have given these governors already. Why wouldn't the protest start at a state level? Why is everybody pointing towards federal government? That is just a question. I want somebody to answer that question.
I think it's everywhere.
It's not.
I think the problem started from fuel subsidy. That's where the problem started.
But how is the
because-
federal government sharing? What is the sharing formula
Okay.
Sharing
based on-
formula of
based
what
on-
exactly?
of the money?
No, the
Yeah.
removal.
This monies that, of course, these monies that were removed, they are being shared to state governors. They are being given to. You understand? Why
People
are
are
we?
not feeling the impact. What you remove fuel subsidy, you're sharing money to state
Then
government,
why-
and then other sectors like you talk
why
about
are
governance.
why are you not starting from your state? Why are you taking it? To
I mean,
that
each
federal
protest
level?
starting from the state
No,
level.
people just don't have transport to go to Abuja. If not, everybody will go. I'm telling you, because everybody is looking at when things like that happen. People start looking at the president of the country.
He was one that made the declaration. It wasn't the state governor. He said fuel subsidy gone, and
But do people care to know how much comes to their state? vis-a-vis the development, if you compare them, do you know? Then it looks like the governors are chilling. You understand? Your fight really is with the governors, but it's the president that is receiving the blows.
Of course.
It's just what I'm thinking as a common. You understand?
I agree with you,
Yeah.
but for that, no, I'm not saying
People are not following up with their locations. Actually,
they are not.
People just want to feel the impact, like when they go to the market and
Joyce,
I want to buy something.
do you think people will not protest today if the president of Nigeria says, okay, no federal allocation, no subvention to every state, we will appoint people at the federal level. If your state is supposed to have 10 billion, we'll appoint somebody to come and do 10 billion naira project in your state. Would we not protest against that again? Let us take our thoughts far before we start engaging. Look at this Sowore guy. Is this Sowore or what? Do you know he insulted? Did you see that clip? Did you see that clip? The minister came late. I watched the clip, and I think that is not right. You are talking about ending bad governance, and you are being disrespectful. The minister came in late and apologized because there was a delay in the flight. And he says, firstly, they want to, I don't know, I can't remember how he said it, but they want to express their dismay and disappointment. The minister is just coming late, and he was giving them the same excuse as 1960. That the nonsense excuse. People started telling him, no, they had to collect the mic from his hand forcefully. It is trending. Maybe you should go and look for that video and watch it. You see, Joyce, if you are the one clamoring for change, we expect that you should be clean.
He who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
But we establish here that nobody is clean.
Yeah.
It's just that some people.
If you are leading something, what is the topic of today's show?
Eroding corruption.
If you are the one leading a protest against corruption, shouldn't you have a clean record of not being corrupt ever?
You should.
We should. I wanted to explain.
That's the question that I'm asking. So, in my opinion, all of these things are just fueled by people that the government did not favor.
No, but are we not feeling the impact of some of these policies? We are.
Me, I don't have time to feel that impact. When these policies come, you understand, some people are unwilling to change the policies. So what will I do? I will not sit down. I will go out and double my effort, look for food to feed my family, and instead of sitting down and be fighting government, wasting time.
But
I
the
will not do that
government have a
personally. It's my
responsibility
personal
to
opinion.
you.
It's my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion. And anybody that, if you see my post on Facebook, I've received accolades for that post. My point is that I am not in support of the protest. However, if you are going out to protest, stay safe. Don't break into anybody. Don't steal from anybody. And if you want to if you are against the protest, please don't even come out to see those that are protesting. Stay at home or go to your shop and watch what you have kept. A lot of people packed the things from their shop, took them home and locked them so that people don't break into it. Is that a good thing for a nation? When we're thinking of progressing, I think there are ways that we can sit down. Everybody has a leader in his community. You can channel your problems to the state government. And then at that level, it can be discussed before we start thinking of federal government. But everything we are channeling to federal government, we are saying, in your state, do you have good drinking water? Is that not responsibility of your governor? Do you have good roads? Is that not responsibility of your governor? Do you have good schools? Is that not responsibility of your governor? All of these things that we are talking about, the food security that we are talking about, when they did food subsidy, when they did they gave palliatives for food and all of that, how many people you know in Plateau, not you, how many people you know collected it in Jos, in Gombe, how many people collected it, in Kaduna State, how many people collected it, in Lagos, how many people collected it? Shouldn't we start thinking about, but did the federal government actually release these things? If yes, then did they get to where they are supposed to go to?
And is it enough to go around?
Do you know, Joyce, that most of these bosses you see in state government, most of these things you see in different places, they were palliative from federal government.
But why should we even embrace the idea of palliative? Why can't we get things working? Because the idea around palliative is cushioning effect.
Because the person that is doing this, let me not sound like I'm a spokesman.
20 truck, if you are to calculate.
But this is the point.
20,000 rice.
This is the point. This is the point that I'm trying to make. right? This is the point that I'm trying to make. You don't go anywhere and see government doing anything for anyone. Most of the issues are systemic. The person that is on seat today, like that's why I said I'm not making case for anybody. I'm also feeling the heat. It's just that I'm not complaining, because complaining it suffers you more than the heat that you feel. But you know what? This system has been bastardized for years,
So
even before the coming of the person that is there. For that person, after studying, this is what I think would be the solution. You talked about the solution being a long-term plan. For how long have they bastardized the system? I think these are the things that we need to check as well and see. I'm not APC, I'm not PDP, I'm not any party. I'm just a GM in a TV station. That is, I flock with everybody. I flock with everybody. The same way I flock with the other party, I flock with, So I am not speaking on behalf of anybody. This is just my personal opinion. Just imagine that a coupler, somebody that is doing shoes, repairing shoes and all that, he will leave his business and say he's going to protest. Instead of you carrying that business to where they are protesting in case
somebody's
shoe
shoe cut.
in case slippers cut. Shoe doesn't cut. It's slippers are cut.
Shoe now cut.
In case somebody needs polish.
They said they should,
You
they
said
should not wear
shoe cut.
slippers. They said they should not wear
Even
slippers.
if it's sneakers they are wearing,
Okay,
what
okay,
if you know
you
that has
see,
a problem?
Joyce, one thing that
Solo has been itching to
I
talk
actually-
against me.
because there are certain things that
Solo
you
has been
just left
itching to speak
halfway.
against
So-
me. Let him talk.
Not really against
Go
you,
ahead.
sir. No, I'm just against anything that is wrong and people just feel comfortable doing it. And I know that this, what goes around comes around. I believe that. Because once upon a time in this country, we saw this elite coming with placards, protesting against a particular government. They are complaining about what people are complaining today. Today. So, if that time things were reasonable, but to them it wasn't. And today, people feel, no, if then you feel these things were not reasonable, now your policies is taking us like beyond just our imagination. And we feel, no, if then you say things like this, can you retrace your step and look at back and see the complaints you made before? And now, if then you are not a leader, now you are a leader, right? You protested against a particular leader that is not doing well. That's the reason why you complain. You mobilize people to protest.
To join you in the
to
protest.
join you in the protest. Now people want to protest against what they feel you now as a leader you are doing that they are not comfortable because they feel they are citizens, they are taxpayers. They should have a say, just the same way you did. I feel that's just what is happening.
But
and that's
is
what
the
making
government
Nigerians.
is
Okay, so I
anybody
have
saying-
a question.
Is any-
You mentioned
Prudence.
taxpayers.
Prudence.
How many are actually taxpayers?
No, I'm
A lot of us don't actually pay tax. If you're talking about evasion of taxes in Nigeria, it's like a massive thing. A lot of us don't actually do that.
But you buy
so you're
things,
not
right?
even.
If you buy
I'm
things,
coming.
then
Let
you're
me
being taxed
let
for
me
that.
land.
You may call you
Let me
tax
land.
for that.
Let me
you buy
land.
credit, you
Let
are
me.
taxed.
Let me.
So
let
when
me.
you say you don't pay tax,
Let
do
me
you mean
explain.
business or because if you
A
When
buy
lot
you
of
buy 100
businesses
naira credit,
don't.
how much is the tax?
A lot of
You're
people don't.
taxpayer.
But here's what I'm saying. Our system has always not been working, or rather,
Now that you are
a
backing
long
me,
time that we know.
is that not corruption?
Sorry, sir. I apologize.
You just sit straight and be looking left and right. That's not corruption.
It's stressful, but I'll try. All right. So here's the thing: a lot of us are not fully understanding what exactly we are taking to the streets to do, and because of that, some people are capitalizing on our inadequate information and pushing. Okay, so agreed. There's hunger in the land and people are hungry. People are tired of going to the market and buying things high cost and all that. So you capitalize on that. And what exactly is it that is the reason for the protest? What exactly are you clamoring for? If you're clamoring for change, how much of that change are you ready to effectively show? You're not putting things in place. Like he mentioned, it sounds like a laughing matter that a cobbler will take his gadgets to go protest in front of. But that's someone who knows that, okay, so
People sell food
this is
there.
my
If you
work.
go, you see people selling food there.
food is a necessity. Everywhere there's a gathering, there's
See,
there'll
that's what
always
I'm
be
saying. It's not
selling
that people
food.
are just eating. Some
No, my
people are
point is-
making business.
My point is,
In fact,
understand?
Summer,
My
even
point
if you
is
don't
there are
take
a
your
lot of
business to
things.
that place, you make sacrifice so that you can gain at the end of the day. That's why earlier on I said there's no development without pain. So sometimes you have to go through the pain so that you will gain. If it means I lock down my business to say that I'm not happy, that despite the fact that I've been paying tax, you're not using the money to bring about development, I don't think it's going to be anything for me personally.
Are
That-
we? Is there any? Is there
Do you
any
understand?
state?
So-
Is there any federal government warning or anything that the strike is illegal, the protest is illegal, or they are stopping the protest? Is there any?
No, protest is
There are court
constitutional.
restrictions.
There are
Court restrictions
Yeah.
against certain
to
things.
certain venues.
You know. The thing. Yesterday, I was
Not
talking with
completely.
a governor yesterday on phone, and he said for him in his state, he said, if you want to protest, come and protest. I'm not stopping you, but I want you to come out and go to a police station and report yourself that you are the one leading the protest. So if there is any vandalization or anything, you are responsible. But I'm not stopping anybody from protesting in my state. He told me that. He said, and in his state, he called the traditional rulers. He called the religious rulers, both Christians and Muslims. He called the Traders Association of the state. He called everybody and he sat with them. And they all told him they are not part of the protest. And he asked why. He said, because this is not a joint protest. It is a protest that is like a movement from somebody, and we are not part of that movement. So we are not going to be in that protest. We're not joining. So he said, in his state, anybody that wants to protest should go ahead and protest. He's not stopping anybody. But go and report yourself as the leader of the protest in that state. If we have any shop broken or any car destroyed or any government property spoiled, you are going to be responsible. And he said, engineer, as I'm talking to you now, nobody has come out. He said, how is it going in Plateau? I now said, there have been people here and there talking, and I was privileged to be put in one of the groups to discuss how, if there's anything media-wise, we can counter it and all of that. But so far in Plateau, there's nothing. Now, if a governor speaks that way, and then you see shops broken, people arrested, cars vandalized, people arrested, government properties, tampered with, and people are arrested. What do you think how do you think that governor will be tagged?
You see, there's something about
Joyce, you don't like answering questions at all.
I know. I'm going to answer
How
it.
do you think that governor will be tagged?
It is the emphasis for me.
No, how do you think? He said you can do protests in my state, and I'm the governor. You can do protests in my state. However, I want to know who is going to be leading the protest at a state level. Go to any police station in Gombe State. Okay, I've just told you who called me. Go to any police station and go and write your name and everything so that we will know.
Okay, let's talk about the law.
No, I asked you a question.
Where is the provision in the law? Because you see, most of these people are taking advantage of. I mean, the energy I saw.
What is the provision in what?
Like, does the law provides for you to come out and tell people that you must go and register, you must go and do this? Why are we bringing all of that?
Register to do what?
Like, if you want to protest, go as the leader, go and show that I'm the leader.
Of course,
take
Joyce,
responsibility
because of course
for all
you
of
have
that
to. You have to because
So
no.
you say that it's
You
going
are
to
going
be a
to no,
peaceful
Joyce.
protest.
No, this is what it means. You are going to be climbing on government-made roads. You are going to be meandering through government roads.
All you need to do is
And you'll be
notify them.
obstructing
That
a
is
lot.
what I'm saying now. So what
Notify.
is that not notified? Is that
the
notification?
he's asking
So
for.
what happens to the security of the people? Because it is your interest, right? It is your interest.
What I'm talking
For
about is
me,
taking
I feel-
responsibility
I
for
feel-
vandalization.
I feel
Why do we have the security agencies like saddled with the responsibility of protecting protesters, because we are not unaware of the facts that
As a
hoodlums,
journalist, let me ask you a question.
hoodlums
How
can
many
take
policemen are in
advantage
Plateau
of
State?
that.
How many policemen are in Plateau State?
Well, I can't tell you exactly.
Okay, how
the
many
number
people are in
of-
Plateau
of-
State?
of,
Give me an idea that you think,
of-
based on how you see. You cannot be held against that. Based on how you see.
No, I can't tentatively give you an answer as
No,
regards
just
that.
in your guess, like people in Plateau
I
are how
wouldn't
many?
want to guess. I wouldn't want to
Do
guess.
you think people are up to 5 million
I
in
wouldn't
Plateau?
want to guess. No,
2 million.
Should be over that.
it should be over 2 million.
Well, let's say 3 million.
Okay,
Do you think we have 300,000 policemen in Plateau?
we don't have.
Okay,
up
so
to
if
that
these
number.
3 million people are coming out to protest, what security, what measure of security do you
you can't
think?
have everybody coming out to protest.
I said if, I didn't say when.
You can't have all, and well,
I
you
said
can't you can't have sufficient number of policemen.
Even
protecting
that
them.
is what
You-
I'm
you won't
saying.
have
That is what I'm saying.
Mm.
But
So you
everybody
won't
needs
contain that.
assurance. Do you know that when you hit a traffic pole
Mm.
with your vehicle, it is counted against you?
True.
You have to fix it.
Mhm.
So you have to be responsible for your action.
Mhm.
It's the same thing that people are asking. If you want to protest, hey, go to court, go to police station, and go and tell go and notify them that this is what we are doing. We even need security for the people that are protesting. Go to road safety. Tell them we need for traffic to
Of
be
course,
controlled. When
of
I was
course.
coming this morning, Old Airport, people were following one way.
Mhm.
The other road was blocked. People were following one way. If you don't have road safety and all of that, how can the road be?
It's
this
almost
thing be
impossible. There's nothing wrong with notifying. When you go to Section 40 of the Constitution, it allows for protesting, and there are conditions for that. And that is why you find out that people have to notify the security agencies.
That is what
for,
I'm
for
saying.
that.
So
But
if
what
you-
I'm trying to say is the energy that you find. Some people say, "Oh, if there's vandalization or if there's this, you have to
There's violence.
violence. You have to take responsibility for that." We are not unaware that in such situations, some hoodlums might take advantage of that situation. Are you saying that I that come out for peaceful protest, I should take responsibility for
in
what
the
hoodlums
absence
have
in
done?
the absence of what you want to do, would hoodlums come out?
In the absence of the government
Just,
doing
have
the
you ever
right
been
thing,
to court? Have you ever been to
if the
court?
government
Have you
are
ever
doing
been
the
to
right
court?
thing,
You have been a
doing
good
the
girl
right
all
thing,
your
and
life. You have never been to court. That's why when lawyer asks you 2 questions, you piss first in your trouser.
okay, we were talking about corruption. Let me just make this point.
Why is the time
we're
going
talking
so
about
fast? That's why I
corruption,
said
right?
you are the one that brought this upon
Yes,
us.
we are talking about corruption, and it manifests in like bribery. We talk about that. It leads to a system where you have inequality, injustice. And at the end of the day, you have poverty even in the land. And when there's poverty, when there's hardship, people want to go out and then show their grievances. Protesting in its full sense of like there's nothing wrong with it.
Nobody is
There's
against
nothing wrong
that.
with it.
Nobody
But
is
we are
against
totally
it.
against violence in protest. Like you rightly made the post. If you are protesting, let it be peaceful. Don't go vandalizing
You
people's
read that
property. Yes, I
And it
did.
didn't mean anything to you.
It means
It didn't mean anything
it
to you.
means. So I'm
I
not
took all day writing that short thing that you saw.
see.
But honestly, I
I'm
wrote
against
7
violence.
different things.
Mm.
I read all through, then I picked this one.
So
And then I posted.
I mean, it was a beautiful perspective,
Yeah.
and I like that. So that your protest, is there anything wrong with protest? It's just people coming out to show their grievances. But the point is, like ECWA stand is saying, we are not unaware of the fact that hoodlums can take advantage of it. We are already complaining of the hardship, and when we have a situation where hoodlums take advantage of this protest and exacerbate
of
like violence, it might become another
There is that
situation.
post where
Do you understand?
in Gombe State there is one very powerful WhatsApp group. Solo is on that group. He called my attention to the post Ekwa made. Somebody took it there. Jesus is a Christian. Let's not talk about that
Okay.
here. I'm
So
telling
you see, we are not. In fact,
There was
I'm
still a debate
totally
about that on
against
our group.
anything violent. That you're protesting, you come out, you hold your placard and you say, "This is my
Of
grievances.
course.
These are my
Of
grievances."
course.
You should be protected by the
I joined the
security.
protest recently when
What?
they kill people in Bokos and all of these people. We came out to,
do you
we didn't carry
understand?
knife, we didn't carry gun, we didn't carry anything.
But in a
So,
situation
In
whereby,
fact, the president of Ekwa, Reverend Stephen, then
yes,
was in front. Who is me?
do you understand? But in a situation where people want to take advantage of it, or where there are intelligence reports against people taking advantage of the whole thing. I think that everybody has a responsibility. The security should be able to nab, since they have information, they should be able to nab that. And if we have already established that corruption can lead to a system where there's inequality and poverty, and it can lead to protests, like situation where we are having today, why can't people in power do the needful? Why can't they do the right thing? Why can't you come and explain things to the people? Like for the common man on the street, there's nothing you tell him that you understand if you still go back to buy salt, and instead of 15 naira, he's buying it for 1,000 naira. There's nothing for him to understand there. Why can't we get the system
somebody
working?
said one sachet of pure water is competing with the money of 1 pint of blood.
Just imagine. You can imagine. So, well, our time is actually fast spent, but I would like us to just take a minute and just maybe talk about the fact that how can we erode this corruption? Because you mentioned it's systematic. She anchored on systematic. So should we continue to live in it because we inherited a system that is corrupt?
The reason why I said it's systemic is because a lot of people, if you see the system in Nigeria, hardly will you see a pure system without corruption. The person selling tomato in the market, even if she bought it last week, she'll tell you this morning, this is how much they are selling one basket. Of course, she has to sell it that amount, the current amount, so that she can go and buy at that same current amount as well. You understand? You look at a taxi driver that has fueled this car last week. He's telling you that this morning they are selling petrol at 1,000. Meanwhile, he bought it last week. Of course, he needs to buy again. You just saw everybody is hustling everybody. All these people that are protesting today, in your area, if you have 10 of them and say, if you stay at home, I'll give you for 5,000. That's corruption. Because somebody is telling you not to go and speak against for your future. And you are sitting down you are doing corruption against yourself. And you will sit down at home. You say, this 5K can go 2-3 days for me and my family. Then why do people collect spaghetti? Honestly, what they can eat within a day. You know, and sell it for what they will protest against tomorrow. I will share a video with you at the end of the show. You will laugh. He's the chairman, the person that is coordinating the protest in Maraba, Abuja. He was the one that came out and did the video. He's a Muslim. He said, I'll send you that video. You see it. People are tired. People are not happy. But we should also go back and ask ourselves, what is wrong with our system? Let's fix it. It's not just... you think government don't have grievances against the people that are following them? They do. The citizens have serious... You will see one way. They write one way, but somebody will drive against the traffic. Don't pour refuse like Prudence said. That is where people enjoy. It's corruption. Everybody is a bad person in this country, except me. And the person, except me and the Equa executive.
Following one way.
So is that right?
Your
choice?
fellow directors will come for you.
It's just only few good people in this country. Me and the Equa executive. Every other person. And the governor of my state.
Okay, your fellow directors will come for you.
But just like he said, it's a system issue. So when we talk about long-term goals, how much of these long-term goals are geared towards rectifying what is going on in the system? I'm not so sure they are geared towards rectifying what's happening with the system. So when we are voicing out our cries and saying, okay, we need you to end bad governance, it's not so much as the governance as it is the system that we are fighting against. We're fighting against that system that makes young people graduate from schools and come back home, and you're studying law tomorrow, you're buy bags with
Prudy bags.
Pretty bags. GTB.
You graduate and come and be
tote
selling
bags.
hair.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wow.
you struggle.
Abba.
You
It's
struggle
exactly
through.
for me.
Abba.
You struggle
You graduate
through
and be
school.
making hair. Every day you keep 4 different.
But here's my point: you struggle
Boomer
through
K.
school, and you're
With
expecting that
Wall
you come out from school after all this struggle that there should be a semblance of stability in your life. but you come and you are starting from the scratch all over again. So when we are fighting, what exactly are we fighting for? And let us be very clear about it. Let's not have double minds and we're like, oh no, we're fighting for bad governance, but as we're actually just fighting inflation. But we should
It's
be
part of the
clear.
bad governance now.
No, but
I
you
like
get my
that,
point.
Prudence. I like that. I like that.
So let us be very clear about what we are fighting. If we want a better system for our future, then let it start now. Let us make sure that we are not those thugs that will come and infiltrate.
You just gave me a
Protest.
nugget.
That we
I
are
will do a
not-
write-up about this and I'll post it and you must like it and comment.
Your 10 minutes have gone. Sambo Solomon.
Well,
Solo, please
What-
remind people they shouldn't go to university and finish and come and be making hair
making hair.
and be putting on some plastic heads and be. Solo, go ahead.
This,
Make that vital point. Make that vital point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, our leaders, do the right thing so that people will not finish, from university
And come
and
and
then
be
be
selling
doing
hair.
something that is not their calling.
Solo is a very careful personality.
He's diplomatic.
That's one.
Going forward.
That's one. And then
Jamima is training you well.
Really?
I miss her. That's today. And then lastly, I want to say, please, like from down to up, up to down. Let's try and do the right thing, because this corruption that we are talking is a cankerworm that has eaten deeply into our system, that you find it difficult to point who is standing.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
True.
And sometimes you say certain things is because maybe you are not in a particular place, or you are
True.
not faced with a particular issue at your disposal, and then you see how you act at that moment. Possibly that's the reason why some people are saying what they are saying today and they are acting the way they are acting. But one thing that I know, my Bible tells me, always strive by doing good. Constantly be conscious that you will leave this world and you will meet your maker, and he will ask you on every single thing you do. So if you are a leader, can you lead well? Can you stop excuses? When people are saying they are suffering, can you look truly, are they suffering? If they are suffering, what they are putting on the table, is it genuine? Is it something that you can do? If it's something that you can do and you're turning your face the other side, then be rest assured. Even if you live thinking that you have the power to do whatever you feel like doing, nobody will do you anything. There's this maker
Well
that
said.
tomorrow will ask you.
Well said.
True.
In eroding corruption, it's very important that we look at the root causes of the problem that we are faced with. If bribery is one of it, nepotism, then we need to address it. We need to prioritize competence. We should be patriotic. Let's show love to our nation and our country. And by loving our nation, then it means that we'll stick on the path of doing the right thing. Justice and equality is what will help us in achieving the country of our dream. Remember that governance is about the people, and democracy is the theory that the common people know what they want and deserve to get it. Thank you for staying with us on today's edition of Today's Live. Engineer Tony Nakali, thank you. Thank you, Prudence. Thank you, Sambo Solomon. Eco Executive, we really appreciate you. If you must protest, you must be peaceful. Otherwise, say no to violent protest. Until we come your way tomorrow, same time, you stay blessed. Bye-bye.